We're going to talk about how you can get way rounder delts in 60 days, 2 months. In 2 months, your delts can look remarkably more round, full, and amazing, and this changes your entire physique. We're going to tell you what to do, how to do it. Listen to us. It's going to happen. 60 days. Let's go.
Every time we talk about shoulders, it always reminds me of the story I tell of the female trainer of mine that told me I had weak delts.
Pointed it out for you.
Yeah. I think it has some too. She had like a thick accent, saying you have very weak delts.
Weak delts.
Is it Russian? Because that hurts
even more. There's certain accents that just sound
it is. That's what it was.
Harsh.
Yeah.
Or German.
I remember that going like, maybe I wasn't ready for that.
The delt. There are certain body parts that it doesn't matter if you're male or female, that add a lot to the aesthetic. Like there's some body parts that guys want, and then there's body parts that women really want. But delts are one that just contribite to aesthetics of both genders.
I mean, I'll take a hot take and say number one, and I'll tell you why I say that. I had the opportunity to coach a lot of bikini, men's physique, bodybuilding competitors. Obviously, I got a lot of those types of clients. Number one go-to move for me would be to focus on delts. I think that
just to add the whole package.
even somebody who has pretty good shoulders, I found didn't put that much energy and emphasis. They just had genetically pretty good shoulders. Yeah. Like their training regimen around shoulders was subpar at best, and it's one of the easiest ways to bring up somebody's physique, their upper body at least, right?
Yes.
It's like one of the best. It's like one of the best muscles to go after to bring somebody up. And I know that's controversial because I know there's someone will be like, oh yeah, what's some of the weak chest and that. But in general, when I would look at someone's physique, I could look at their shoulders and go like, I know I can change their programming up a little bit to develop their delts, and it will make the quickest, best improvement.
100%
to the.
There's a reason for that. The shoulders are a very functional body part, very complex joint, right? You have the humerus, you have the scapula. The way that they need to move together,
it floats.
It floats. It allows us to throw with accuracy, to press, to pull. It connects our arms to the big muscles of the upper body. And so aesthetically speaking, it demonstrates good upper body health. In fact, when you look at old statues, old sculptures, Greek sculptures, before bodybuilding existed, when they were making statues of athletes or of people like Hercules, when you look at the physique, they always had incredible delts.
Always had crazy delts.
Yeah, and that's because they recognized in their athletes that delt development really played a role in their ability to perform. So there's a reason why we like it in both the sexes. Now, I'll start with the first thing. This is more of a don't. This is more of a don't do this. If you want to build any body part, delts or otherwise, stop trying to get shredded at the same time. Mm-hmm. You're not going to build rounder delts if you're also simultaneously putting yourself in a calorie deficit and trying to get leaner. Mm-hmm. It's just not going to happen. You focus on one or the other. Look, if you want to get lean, that's fine. Get lean. If you want to build, if you want to do what we're talking about here in the next 60 days, develop delts that look different, then you got to get out of the mentality of trying to get leaner. You got to get into the mentality of I'm trying to gain, I'm trying to build, so I'm going to be in a calorie surplus. Because if you don't have the building blocks to build, you can do everything else that's perfect. You can do everything else perfectly, but you're not going to have the building blocks to do so, and it's just not going to happen. So stop trying to get shredded at the same time. This is bulk season.
I mean, I think this falls so perfectly into your second tip, which is this is what I would do. Put them on a bulk, and I put emphasis on the rear delts.
Yes.
That was like the go-to low-hanging fruit was there's not a lot of common exercises for the rear delts. And so that's why I think it's naturally neglected. A lot of people just think about, when I do rowing exercises, they get incorporated. And so specific targeted exercises for the rear delts in a calorie surplus is when I talk about changing someone's programming, that's what I mean right there.
Yeah, so when you look at the muscles of the shoulder, at least the ones, because there's a lot of muscles that connect and control and stabilize, but the ones we're talking about, the deltoid, you have the front head, the side head, and the rear head of the deltoid. Everybody thinks it's the side head that contributes to the roundness of the delt. It's actually the rear head. It's the small muscle of the rear. And most people either A, don't work it, or if they do, they leave it as kind of an afterthought. Like, end of the workout, I'm fatigued. Let me go do a little bit of rear delt. You develop your rear delt, the overall look of your shoulder changes dramatically.
Oh, yeah.
Dramatically. It's what adds that square look, that round look. It's what brings everything together. In fact, if everybody
Increases
watching
that line all the way around, so it's like a definitive.
100%, if everybody watching this right now just develop their rear delt more, it would make more of an impact on the look than if they develop their side and especially the front head. So focus on the rear. Don't leave it as an afterthought. This changes how your shoulder looks significantly. I was lucky.
Plus, it balances out the function.
It's so important.
It's so important to do
Yeah,
that.
you get real front heavy, and you start getting problems. I was lucky as a kid to have read an article by a bodybuilder. I can't even remember who it was years ago. So I was probably 15. So I was like a year into lifting, and I had coat hanger shoulders, right? I had no delts. So it looked like, at least that's what I thought. That's how I felt as a kid. Looked like when I wore a t-shirt, it just looked like there was nothing there. And so I was like, I want to get my delts to be more developed. And I read this article where this bodybuilder talked specifically about the rear head of the deltoid. And so for probably 2 years, I started every workout with rear flies, which was a blessing. Like, how lucky was I as a kid to understand that?
Mm-hmm.
And my delts today are a strength. And it goes all the way back to back then when I read that one article.
Agreed.
Next up, train them 3 days a week. So if you look at the data on how often you should train a body part, you know, when the volume is controlled, it doesn't make a huge difference past twice a week. You know, from once to twice, you see a bit of a difference. To 2 to 3 to 4, not a huge difference. But what we find in practice is that 3 days a week tends to work better because fatigue doesn't play as big of a role. If you miss one, you at least train your shoulders twice that week. And it just tends to work better over time. This is both with general pop and with people who tend to be more advanced. And it allows you to place a different focus on each workout. So you can pick your 3 days a week and have kind of a different focus and give a different feel, which tends to contribute more to overall development.
So before figuring out the rear delt thing for me, this was the first thing that I figured. So after the famous "you have weak shoulders" comment, this was the first time I actually went and programmed them like in the program 3 times a week. Before that, it was like an afterthought. Shoulders were always done after I did my chest and after the workout, or a little bit extra when I was doing something else. Like, I trained shoulders like that for the first time ever. I went, okay, I'm going to train them either by themselves back when I was doing splits or every other day. And
Huge difference.
Huge difference. So this is, and then I think the rear delt, which you already brought up, became later on. I pieced that together, but at least the first thing that made the big leap originally was just giving them attention like they were everything else. They tend to be an afterthought for a lot of people. And I at least know what my thinking was as a kid was, oh, well, when I row, I do rear delt stuff. When I press, I get anterior delt stuff. So I'm already, and then I would just throw some laterals in there. So my thought process was, because I could feel my shoulders engaging in rowing and pushing movements, I was working them, and then I would just do lateral stuff in addition to that. It wasn't until I started to focus just on the shoulder and do movements specific to that, and this was part of that process.
You know what's crazy about that when you talk about the weak shoulder? I saw you when we first met. You were at the peak of competing. Your delts were your
huge.
That was your most standout body part.
Well, it became that, but it became because of that, which I think probably all of us have stories of this, of either an insecurity or a focus, and then ends. Which is, man, this is one of the things that I love about bodybuilding or lifting weights in general, is that you can take something that was a weakness of yours and actually turn it into a strength with effort and focus. And so, yeah, this was absolutely my weak point. And then when I started competing and doing shows, this was one of my strengths, was the shoulders.
Totally. All right, next up, there's really 3 kind of functions. Now, I'm not talking from a functional perspective. I'm talking about from a shoulder development perspective. There are 3 ways to focus on shoulder exercises that will make a big difference in how they develop. Push, pull, and pull out. Push, pull, and pull out. So push, all your presses, overhead presses, shoulder presses. You're pushing the weight up. So focus on good technique with pushing. Pull, these are your upright rows or your face pulls. You're focusing on pulling. You're going to use your hands like hooks and pull with the elbows. This is going to give you more shoulder activation. And then pull out.
Pull out method.
Pull out is not that kind of pull out. I didn't realize that.
I was waiting for that, too.
Ouch.
I was like, Justin's going to catch that. I know.
Yes, you won't get good shoulders if you don't pull
get
out.
that by me, buddy.
man.
Yeah, you get little kids. It's hard to work out consistently. No, you pull out with your laterals, your rear flies. Don't think of up. think of out. Makes a huge difference. When you're doing your rear laterals or rear flies, don't think of pulling them up, but rather separating and pulling out. Makes a huge difference on the connection. To the
Now,
muscle.
do you
Rotate them.
because I didn't see this on the tips. Do you have a tip to the order at which somebody does this? Because I do think it's really common. You made a point about rear delts earlier, and I think if you do work shoulders, it's really common to hopefully start with a press, because I think that's one of the biggest bang for your bucks type of movements. But if you already do that or have done that for a long time, I see a lot of value in starting with rear delts.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. 100%. I think that's for somebody who's already worked their shoulders a lot with presses, to start with the rear flies and then watch what
It
happens.
just sets you up better, and like I call it like packing the shoulder, like just getting that function where you retract and depress like ahead of time.
Today's program giveaways Maps Anabolic Advanced. If you want to win, leave a comment below this video. In the first 24 hours that we drop it, subscribe to this channel and then click on notifications. If you win, we'll let you know in the comment section. Also, ladies, if you're struggling to get better results, fill out our free quiz and see which avatar you fall under. Get some tailored advice. Go to musclemommymovement.com/quiz. See if you fall under comeback queen, efficient powerhouse, strength novice, or lifestyle integrator. Again, it's a free quiz. Get some free advice. musclemommymovement.com/quiz. Back to the show.
That's another great point to bring up that I also remember this. So not only when I started doing rear delts first, did I see better development in the rear delts, and that was a huge missing piece to cap off the shoulder like you're talking about. But I also found this kind of added benefit of how much it set me up for the press moment.
Yeah.
It was just because it set the shoulder in a better position.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't think
Keeps it
you
fixed.
can you overvalue that enough. Like as far as how powerful that is, because we're all kind of naturally rolled forward a little bit. And just setting your shoulders in a better, more optimal position makes you stronger in the press.
Yep.
So I ended up noticing that, oh, wow, even though I'm starting with rear delts and you would think that I would be more exhausted for the shoulder press, I actually felt stronger because I was in a better position. I totally remember that because I thought, this is weird. I'm shoulder pressing. I should be way weaker because I've already done my rear delts. I should be a little fatigued. But because it was setting my shoulder, and I didn't know that
You're
right
just more
away.
aware of where your shoulder position is.
Yes, because we're so rolled forward, and it put me in a more optimal position.
Totally.
And I actually pressed even better.
3 different ways also to approach your workouts with your shoulders. There's heavy and low rep. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to do 5 reps, but focus on my technique and form over feel, right? So heavy presses tend to fall into this. The other one is light and slow. So I lighten the weight and I really try to feel the muscle. And then finally, another approach is light and pump. I'm trying to get as much blood into the muscle as possible. Now, what I just did right here, by the way, is I gave you 3 ways to work out. You're hitting your delts 3 days a week. It's perfectly fine for one of those days to be heavy, low, the next one to be light and slow, and then the third one to be kind of a light and pumping style of a workout. All of these have value. They all change things up. They all send a bit of a different signal and different adaptation. When you combine these, you get this really nice, complete kind of workout for the week.
I'm such a fan of the light pump for shoulders because so you could focus on the movement. Because the shoulder is a floating joint and you have other big muscles that are surrounding it on the front and the back, a lot of times these bigger muscles take over the movement. And I think that was one of the other things that when I was helping somebody develop their shoulders was I would notice form and technique was poor because they would just throw so much weight on. It was just about trying to push as much weight as they possibly could or lift as much weight. And what was happening was the chest or the back would kick in and take over a lot of the movement. And so I really enjoyed really slow, light pumping type exercises to really get someone's technique down so that when they went back to that like heavy loaded press or heavy loaded row, they can engage the shoulders more and not let the bigger muscles take over.
Next up, here's a little, you're not supposed to do this ever, or at least you think you're not supposed to, but I'm going to tell you to, because if you want to do this in 60 days, do this. On chest day and shoulder day, people tend to work chest and shoulders together. Hit shoulders first.
Yeah.
You almost never hear anybody
You
say
prioritize it.
Now, one of our programs, we do this. MAPS Muscle Mommy, we do delts before chest, mainly because women are much more interested in developing their delts over their chest. But for anybody watching this, like if you want to make this happen in 60 days, on those days where you're working chest, shoulders, and triceps, which tends to be put together, go delts before chest. You are not going to lose muscle in your chest, by the way. People freak out over that. Oh, no, I'm going to be fatigued. I can't bench as much. You're not going to lose muscle in your chest. You're not going to be as strong on your bench presses and your incline presses, but we're going to prioritize the delts, hit them first before chest. That's going to give you the best chances in 60 days of seeing a big difference in how your delts.
I love this, not only from a development perspective, but from the point that Justin made. I felt doing shoulders before chest for a lot of clients just set the shoulder girdle up into a better position, and they were more stable, more controlled, and then there was less issues going on when they were chest pressing. A lot of times it's very common. So in chest press, they hear clicking or it feels off or their one side's not. And doing the shoulders, getting a good shoulder pump, tends to set the girdle in a better position, or at least make them more aware and stable in that position, that when they went to do their chest press, they'd see even better benefits.
And most of the time, it kind of eliminates the need for that first set. That's really the warm-up set.
Totally.
Because you're just getting through all the
You're
cobwebs. Yeah.
100%.
Get you in the groove.
Lastly, mobility helps a lot. Now, mobility helps everything, but it really helps the shoulders.
Yeah.
There are exercises that are so effective that a lot of people don't do because it hurts them because they lack mobility. They can't do upright rows. They can't do behind the neck presses. They can't do certain types of laterals. They can't turn their pinky out when doing laterals. It's too dangerous. Hurts my shoulder.
This is a big gatekeeper right here.
It's huge. Like mobility, like, shoulder dislocates, handcuffs with rotation, like these basic mobility movements allow your shoulder to be expressed fully. And when the humerus and the scapula work in harmony, you could do all kinds of exercises and get all the benefits from all these incredible exercises. So mobility, it's important for the whole body, don't get me wrong, but it is especially important for the shoulder joint. And so focus on them during the 60 days so you can maximize the benefits.
Now, would you guys attribute that to the fact that a lot of people suffer from just weakness and instability in the shoulder, and because it's a floating joint, that's why that makes such, because I agree, I totally agree that mobility in the shoulder is such a game changer to make that an emphasis or a focus. And would you attribute that because a lot of people have a lot of weakness and instability there, and so that focus of mobility addresses some of the weakness and instability?
It's also just the way people perform a lot of shoulder exercises. They stop their reps short. They don't go all the way down, so it hurts. So that what happens when it hurts is you shorten the rep even more, or you try different exercise. You avoid exercises, and so you just lose a function. By the way, shoulder mobility will allow you to develop your chest and back more too.
Yeah. I was going to say it gets in the way a lot of times of the chest because you're not fully expansive with your chest, and you're not really activating it to the optimal amount because your shoulder's so protracted, so it stops there. It's like, that's the weak point in the movement.
Yep, 100%. All right, I got a study for you guys that is crazy.
Oh, yeah?
It is crazy. I'm going to read this to you, and I can't wait to see. I'm sure our buddy Lane Norton, is getting hammered with this study.
Oh, really? In a good way, or something?
I think people are just sending it to him, like explain this or whatever.
Okay.
So here's the title of the study. This was University of Copenhagen. This is a human study. It was controlled, so it's not bad. And the study showed that ultra-processed foods, ready for this?
Yeah.
They make you gain fat even without additional calories.
Oh, boy. Really?
So here's the big issue
Here
and we've said this forever. The big issue with ultra-processed foods is that they're hyper-palatable and they make you overeat. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Trying to eat an appropriate amount of calories with the ultra-processed food diet is like, good luck. You're just going to white-knuckle this entire time. They're engineered to make you overeat. That's still true. But here's what they did in this study, which is pretty crazy. So the scientists in the study were trying to compare the health impacts of unprocessed and ultra-processed diets on the same person. This was a well-made study. They recruited 43 men between 20 and 35 who spent 3 weeks on each of the two diets with a 3-month washout in between. So the same person. Half started on the ultra-processed and half started on the unprocessed diet. Half of the men also received a high-calorie diet with an extra 500 daily calories, while half received the normal amount of calories for their size, age, and physical activity levels. They were not told which diet they were on. Both the ultra-processed, unprocessed, and ultra-processed diets had the same amount of calories, proteins, carbs, and fats. They controlled the calories and the macros. Men gained around 1 kilo, so that's over 2 pounds, of fat mass while on the ultra-processed diet compared to the unprocessed diet, regardless of whether they were on the normal or excess calorie diet.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
Several other markers of cardiovascular health were also affected. It wasn't just weight on the scale. There were cardiovascular markers that were also affected, even though the calories and the macros were the same because of the processed food.
Everything was controlled. Activity, all that, all the same.
I mean, I haven't looked super deep into the study because this is a review on the study. It's on Science Daily.
Yeah.
But from what I'm reading, they did a pretty damn good job controlling things. And remember, they did a 3-month washout. So you're eating processed foods, then you'll stop, we'll measure, weigh things or whatever. We'll give you 3 months of just whatever. Then we'll start you on this other diet. So same person, 2 different diets. What's the difference? An extra 2 pounds of fat and cardiovascular markers look worse.
That's significant, man.
Okay, here's what they also discovered. This is where it gets crazier. They also discovered a worrying increase in the level of hormone-disrupting phthalate. This is a substance used in plastics in men on the ultra-processed diet. Men on this diet also saw decreases in their levels of testosterone and follicle-stimulating hormone, which are crucial for sperm production. This is a quote from the scientists. We were shocked by how many body functions were disrupted by ultra-processed foods, even in healthy young men. Remember that, these are healthy young men. The long-term implications are alarming and highlight the need to revise nutritional guidelines to better protect against chronic disease. Wow.
What?
I see you guys are speechless.
Yeah.
So was I.
So I have a theory that
Is our food plastic?
I'm so curious. I hope Lane goes after this so we can hear how he defends this or picks it apart. I would think, okay, so you say they control macros and calories.
That's right.
But do they control it this way? That's like, here's Whole Foods, 500 calories. Okay, this is 500 calories of processed. Are they actually scientifically measuring that, or are they taking the label that says 500 calories?
Right.
Because if you just go by the 3,000 calorie labeled diet, this brings what I always bring up, which is the FDA allows 20% for that to be off. 20%, and you got to believe all these healthier processed foods are going to lie or lean towards the lowest. So it's probably you're probably eating 20% more calories than you think you're eating.
So maybe
That would be my guess.
Maybe, but here's the other problem. You saw changes.
Well, okay, so that doesn't address the other part you said, where hormone disruption and everything like that. Like
yeah, that's not going to happen from being
no.
off.
200 more calories or 20% more calories in that short of a period is not going to.
And I don't know about the 2 extra pounds of body fat. That would be way off, bro.
Well, I mean, depending on the calorie diet, a 20% increase could be a significant.
Well, consider
number.
this: they were using ultra-processed foods, not ultra-processed health foods. So ultra-processed foods are going to underreport calories, not overreport. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're gonna make it look like they're lower. So maybe you're right with that, but the phthalates. The phthalates, the sperm product, the lower like testosterone.
I mean, that doesn't solve that. That doesn't. I mean, that doesn't. That's my guess for the. Although, if somebody puts on more body fat, all those markers are going to show a
not necessarily
negative,
really.
won't they?
Not really. Not
No?
like that. No. Not 200 cal. No, not like that. I mean, this was not when they say significant reduction. This is like they always allow for a little bit of changes. But to see something like, and I'd like to see the actual studies, how much of a reduction.
Because obviously,
because the part that alarms me the most out of all of this was a
hormone.
worrying increase. So they were testing a lot of things, you guys.
Yeah, but how do you measure that, Sal?
Oh, pee. They're looking at
worrying through pee.
No. They're testing specifically for phthalates, and I think they're going to look at your urine and your feces to see if you get an increase of these things, or blood tests. It's one of those things.
And that's correlated to worrying?
In other words, when they say worrying, you see a dramatic increase.
Oh, worrying like that. I thought you were like they are more worried or paranoid as
No. The scientists saw
how are they measuring that through their pee? That makes no sense to me.
No, the scientists saw.
You can see it.
They were worried by it. Is what you're saying? Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, that doesn't. I definitely feel like I'm on the right track with the calorie increase and the putting the body fat on. I bet you it has something to do with that. Because if they literally just took all labels at face value and said those are 500 calories, and then they give you.
Well, let me put it this way.
Let me microplastics in it.
That's of course. Look.
Yeah.
Okay, you remember the guys. This is 3 weeks. Okay, you're going to gain 2 extra. Both of them are in calorie surplus. 2 extra pounds of fat in 3 weeks. How off are these labels?
20, 25.
That's 7.
At least, bro. At least that.
That's 7. That would be 7,000 calories. But when you see a change in hormone levels and these phthalates are connected to obesity.
You know what? It would be interesting too, because, and I'm sure this is all connected to that, is, you know, somebody on a highly processed diet versus somebody on a whole food diet. Like, how much better is your sleep? How much better is your digestion?
Everything.
Right?
Everything.
And like, how much does that?
Because they saw cardiovascular markers change as well.
Yeah.
Well, we know this. We know hormones affect fat gain.
I love this. I can't wait to hear Lane discuss this, because I mean, this is one of the few areas where we don't see eye to eye with each other.
Well, we always said, like, I don't care what the macros and calories say. Fine, it's equal. I still think they're worse for you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in processed food that
they don't nourish you.
that is been put in there to improve its palatability that are not chemicals found in normal foods. What do all those things combined do to you? And the production. The production of these foods and the plastics that are in your food because of just the production and the wrappers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we know this. We know hormones affect fat gain or fat loss, muscle gain, muscle loss. You could take somebody, change their hormones, change nothing else, and suddenly they get leaner and build more muscle because hormones tell your body what to do. Mm-hmm. So, and they change the calorie out part, right? So it's like, oh, calories in versus calories out. That doesn't change. That's true. But you change your hormone profile and the calories out thing changes suddenly. Your body starts to either burn more calories or want to build more muscle, which then burns more calories. This is wild.
Yeah, it is wild.
And this is showing, because look, follicle stimulating hormone goes down. That's going to change. That's going to alter your fertility.
Yeah.
These hormone disrupting chemicals change fertility in women as well. I don't think it's just I think eating too many calories is playing a big role, but I don't think it's the only role. And and we've suspected this. I mean, come on, we've all suspected this. You know, you have the people on the other side who are like, well, show me the data.
Well, I think they downplay a lot of those chemicals because it's a lot easier to mass produce and also keep a longer shelf life and all that. So money line, it's like, let's not look too intensively into this, but I honestly think it affects you a lot more.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How wild.
I can't wait to hear the internet go here.
And debate it and kind of discuss it.
Yeah, because this is.
And remember, these were 20 to 35-year-old men.
Yeah.
So imagine what it's going to do to a 45-year-old, a 55-year-old.
Yeah, they're in their prime.
And this was 3 weeks. This was 3 weeks.
I know, that's a short period of time.
Okay.
What does that look like stretched out for a year?
Yeah. People eat a processed food dominant diet for decades.
Yeah.
Not 3 weeks. Yeah. You're eating that. So if your phthalate, if these chemicals increase in 3 weeks, what do you think it's happening to you over 15 years? Or 25 years? Or your life, your whole life?
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know. I read that study. I'm like, oh, this is going to be. I mean, listen,
pretty alarming.
I think we make the case for eliminating processed foods because it helps control your intake, which is still, I think, one of the biggest reasons. Yeah. But I think like if you did anything with your diet, everybody, if you just eliminated, processed foods, you would solve the majority of your diet issues.
It's not benefiting you at the end of the day. It's
so funny because when I think about my own personal journey as a trainer, like helping people, like going from the tracking down to the calorie macro, writing a meal plan out that like matches that's ridiculous even and stuff like that, to like, letting go of that a little bit, but still really writing meal plans for people, to literally getting to the place where it finally was like, oh, you know what, just stop eating processed foods. I'm not going to tell you your macros or this or that. And like literally go eat whole foods.
Just the basic.
Yeah, go eat whole foods and eat the meat first. Like became like the advice. And it was like enough to radically change 90% of your clients' physique. Like that's not going to get you on stage and win a show, but 90% of all the clients that would ever hire you, just convincing them to move away from processed foods, eat whole foods, eat their protein first, solved most all the problems that you were having diet related, with helping them getting in good shape.
Isn't that great?
It's crazy.
I know. I love it. All right. I got another cool study for you. This one was, let me see where this was done. This one was done at the University of Exeter. Drinking nitrate-rich beetroot juice lowers blood pressure in older adults. It reshapes their oral microbiome. So your oral microbiome plays a big role in how much nitric oxide you produce. Yeah, how much nitric oxide you produce. This, by the way, this supports other studies that show that mouthwash
So bad.
Not a good
Great,
idea.
yeah.
Because it literally
Kind of
kills
nukes all the beneficial bacteria.
that produce nitric oxide that you need for vascular health. By the way, poor vascular health, low nitric oxide for men, this contributes to erectile dysfunction and stuff like this. So this study was pretty interesting. And I brought it up because our partners, Joy Mode, one of the main ingredients in there are nitrates from
beet.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So it's a pre-sex supplement. You take it 45 minutes before, improve blood flow.
You can argue it's a health supplement.
I love it. Yeah. I take it, and I don't take it before sex. I take it pre-workout. I take it throughout the day.
I've been drinking
I get
more.
energy from it. I feel good. One of the best things you do for your health is improve your vascular health, and nitric oxide does that quite a bit. Higher nitric oxide reduces risk of things like heart disease, heart attack, stuff like that. But pretty cool study. And, again, if you don't want to go supplement route, beet juice. I just don't like the taste, but you can go with beet juice, which is,
I mean, most of those supplements all have that, right? That's like the main ingredient. The main ingredient that works for most like your pre-workout supplements is that, isn't it?
No, they don't. No, not nitrates are expensive. You want to put them in a supplement, it's going to cost you a lot.
So what are
They'll use arginine and citrulline.
Okay, so
amino
that's a
acids.
cheaper precursor?
Yeah, they're precursors. Yeah, nitrates will boost nitric oxide for sure in a big way.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So that is a cheaper way of doing it.
Totally.
Oh,
Totally.
I didn't know that.
Just
I
more
thought
overall
that's what the
blood flow
science pointed
production.
to as the better route. That's why so many supplements. Oh,
No,
interesting.
yeah, it's citrulline,
Of course,
arginine,
of course
cheap.
it's a cheaper way.
Nitrate, expensive. So, and again, for people who like the blood flow when they work out,
Yep.
you get better pump, you get more better
Stamina.
performance. Yeah, try Joy Mode. Watch what happens. It's like it doesn't even come close to the other stuff.
Talking about overall health and predictors or something like that. I saw this Peter Attia interview. I wish I could give credit to the lady he was interviewing. I don't know what her name was, but I thought it was a really interesting clip. They were talking about what's the number one predictor for somebody like falling down when they get in advanced age, falling down and breaking a hip or getting hurt. You know what it is?
No.
Toe strength.
Oh,
Toe
wow.
strength.
Toe strength and ankle mobility is making the case is
Yeah.
like the number one thing and one of the most important things to focus on when we age.
Yeah, you know what? Let's fix
yeah.
that, by the way. People are thinking ankle
Balance will
mobility.
throw off easy.
People think, just tight ankles. No, weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what.
So
So
weak feet. Yeah.
You have to be strong.
In general.
It's strength all the way up and down.
yeah, let's just address that in general. Anytime you hear us talk about weakness or lack of mobility, or anytime we talk about lack of mobility or needing mobility, that's weakness and instability.
That's right.
So that's exactly what that is. That's the root. The root of being immobile is weakness and instability. So having weak, unstable feet is the cause of all those issues.
Getting ahead of that, you take your shoes off and
Barefoot.
you articulate your toes
100%.
and just keep walking around. Yeah, I think people just don't think to do that enough, and we get so comfortable in these shoes that totally, cater all of your different articulating movements.
I was squatting the other day, and then I walked on the treadmill afterwards in my Chucks, and I actually could feel what's the right term? Degrading in my gait from lack of attention. I haven't been training very consistently, and definitely haven't been doing a lot of my mobility, ankle stuff like that, and it just hasn't been a priority. And I noticed it after squatting and then walking. I think where I really noticed was on the treadmill. I could tell by my gait and like, oh wow, how I'm atrophying. I absolutely have atrophied. An area that I take a lot of pride in that I've worked on, I would say, is my ankle and my feet. Like that was a big focus for the mid part of Mind Pump. And so I haven't been doing a lot of that, and I could tell the difference.
Yeah. The reason why you get tight when you're weak, because people think when you're older and you see when people walk or they stumble and they can't catch themselves, and the weaker you get, the more limited your range of motion becomes as your CNS tries to keep everything safe. And so you lose mobility. You lose mobility because your body becomes less and less able to control and stabilize in ranges of motion. In different ways. So you become more and more and more and more and more limited over time, losing the ability
Safety-wise,
to be more. It's funny, I was this weekend, I was at church, and one gentleman introduced himself to me. His name is Justin. He's an ER doctor. And we were talking about this with the elderly and how he's like, their balance. And we were talking like it comes from lack of strength. Yeah. So we had this great conversation about this. And I was telling him how towards the end of my career, I trained a lot of people in advanced age, and the changes that they had in their independence and mobility just from getting. Listen, I wasn't doing like deadlifts, and I couldn't. These people were in their 70s and 80s. They were deconditioned. Some of the exercises were like, we're going to sit down and stand up.
Yep.
And you're going to sit on this bench. And, oh, the bench is too low. I'm going to put some pads on it. We're going to sit down and stand up. It was like the most, or I'm just going to have, you're going to hold my hands and I'm going to have you try to come up on your toes and come back down. Like that would be an exercise. And the improvement they saw in their independence and mobility was profound. It was life-changing.
Yeah, some of the most basic, even that's why I love the sled so much, because I can get them driving up on their forefoot. And the thing is, they walk around and it's just all flat-footed movement,
Yep.
you know,
And
all day
same
long.
plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they never strengthen that. And two, you know, so that's just like one of the most basic ways to get them up and going. And it's not too complicated skill-wise.
Totally.
Yeah, all mobility and strength in all directions too. Because she pointed. Thank you, Doug. Doug pulled up the interview. It's 296 on Peter Attia's, and it was Dr. Courtney Conley.
Correct. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. Courtney Conley was the doctor. So I didn't listen to the whole episode. I just saw an excerpt from it, and I thought, oh, this is really interesting and a really good topic. We haven't brought up the foot in a long time, and just I think it's so important that you do that. I think it's a good habit to, if you don't already practice being at home. Like I love having a nice grassy backyard now, where I take them off and we'll play soccer barefoot in the grass with Max and just kick it around. So that is a good way. But if you don't if you don't actively go do that, it's probably a good idea to incorporate it into your training. Is to get some barefoot days of your training sessions. Otherwise, it's one of those things you'll just lose it if you don't actually practice it.
That's right. All right, I'm going to tell you guys about something that sucks really bad. So I went. Today's day 4. I think, of going off kratom completely.
Oh,
now my dose,
no fun.
My dose wasn't even that high. Okay, so at the worst, at my highest, my dose looked like about, what would that be? About 5 grams, maybe 5.5 grams a day.
Oh, I don't even think you were that high. 5 grams. You know how much that is? Those little. The pills
are 500 milligrams each.
Yeah.
So at my highest, I would take like 8 to 12 in a day divided. So maybe okay. And then, but on other days, it would be more like just like 7 of those, about 30. Okay, so, and now people use up to like 20, 30, 40, 50, grams a day. So I didn't even get that high. I started using them, just for context. My uncle passed away about 3 months ago, just total moment of weakness. In fact, it started, I was on my way home from, visiting with family the day he passed away, and I'm gonna drive home and I'm like, oh man, I'm so tired. I'm gonna fall asleep, obviously feeling just totally just down. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna use some. It'll keep me awake and help numb and distract me from this terrible feeling. And so that started a 3-month cycle of me eventually using it on a daily basis. And the root of that for me is like, makes me feel capable, puts me in a good mood, whatever. So it was about, I want to say a week or 2 ago, I told you guys I had this, where my wife kind of asked me point blank if I was using it, and I lied to her. Next day I told her the truth. And so I told her, you know what, I'm gonna, and she's giving me a lot of grace with it. And I'm gonna come off, and my last day is gonna be, on this day or whatever. So I tried to kind of work my way down. I was taking maybe 5 or 6 capsules a day, which is like 3 grams. And then my last day ended. The day after, I was like, okay, I'm not getting the good feelings, but I think I'm cool. So maybe I'm not going to get any withdrawal. It was the day after.
I hit it because it fully got out of your system. That's why.
Yeah. And what it was for me, and I've been reading what people will go through. So mine are not anything like other people, but for me, it was like lethargic, like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like, even right now, you guys, I feel like,
Did you get the yawns
half
too?
asleep.
You get the yawn.
And I was just worthless.
Sauna will help.
I hate that.
Big time.
Okay.
Sauna helped me big time to get in the sauna and kind of sweat it all out.
Okay.
It'll speed up that process.
Okay.
Because it is an awful that can drag out to be a good 7 days afterwards.
Oh.
So even when it's completely out of your system, I would say it takes.
Well, it's the opiate receptors have to kind of upregulate again.
And it takes about 5 to 7 days to kind of reprime
just
them.
Exhausted, lethargic, and taking naps, which is this is my kryptonite, because I used stuff like that to feel more capable. Well, now I'm like worthless. Now I'm not helping my wife. I'm not playing with my kids. They want to play with me. I'm just like, I feel like I took a bunch of sleeping pills or something. It was really weird. And just absolutely horrible. But I had this great moment, this blessing, because I'm like going through this. I feel like I'm worthless. I'm like, I don't know what to do, whatever. My poor wife thinks I'm mad at her. And I'm like, I'm not mad at you. I feel like garbage.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to navigate that. And I had this moment where I was praying, and God showed me how far things have come for us, and I felt this joy, which while you're tired, you can feel joy. So I was trying to explain this to people. Felt this joy that was just such a gift, and I'm like, okay, I'm moving in the right direction. Let's do this. But I tell you what, man, that for anybody who's like, wants to get into that product or whatever, it's nasty. The withdrawal, and I wasn't using a lot, man. Yeah. I was like, I was using it daily, which is not a good idea, but I wasn't using much. To feel like this, and this is like, I still feel like garbage, but I feel better than I did the other. You should have seen me the other day. It was like, I was like on Benadryl or something. It was weird, man.
Well, this is why I'm so glad that, we had that foresight way back when I remember when Mark Bell first launched his, and that was around the same time we were kind of talking and hanging out with him a lot. And I remember it was, I could feel he was like offended that I was like, yeah, no, we're not going to promote that. And he was like trying to sell it on me, and I'm like, no, I'm already aware enough of the benefit. I mean, of the addictive properties that it has, and so it's like that's not something that we're gonna promote on the podcast. It's caffeine, kratom, weed. I mean, all of them can become a thing like that where. They start off with just a little bit, and then you creep up, and then before you know it, it's something that you find yourself.
Some things are worse than others for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean coming off of kratom, it is harder for me than caffeine or weed for sure. I can go I can forget to smoke and go for a week, 2 weeks, no big deal, not even a big deal. Caffeine, I have to make a strategic effort, so that's a little bit harder.
That's
but
what gets me all the time.
It doesn't cry. In fact, when I'm coming off caffeine, it's a little rougher in the day, but I actually sleep better. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Kratom will
messes your sleep up.
I can't sleep. I come off and then I go to it's just awful. So I would agree that
the physiological
of all of them, it's one of the.
I tell you what, man. I'll use the word sin, but you can use whatever you want in your head. But sin feels fine until you try to stop. Then you realize who you're worshiping or what you're worshiping. And so if you're like, oh yeah, I'll just stop whenever. All right, go ahead, try it. Oh, you don't want to? You make up excuses? There might be something that's ruling over you.
Yeah.
But that's what it feels like. It feels cool. I'm cool. I'm managing it. Oh yeah, try to stop and then see what happens. If the psychological stopping was the hard part first, because I'm like, I don't want to stop. Yeah. It makes me give me energy. When I'm with the kids at the park, I'm playing with them and having a good time, and it's fine. It puts me in a good mood or whatever. And then the second part now is the physiological. But now I'm in it. I'm like, I'm going through it, and I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna stay off of it.
What day are you on right now?
This is probably day 4.
Oh, you're gonna be all right. Yeah. Go get some steam sauna.
Yeah, but the lethargic part, man. Bro. You know how you go off caffeine and you feel tired?
Yeah,
it's
that's
way
why
worse.
I always avoid it.
No,
and I'm always trying to find other creative ways to do a little less, and then keep
way
it
worse,
around.
bro. I thought I was getting sick or something. Like, this is not right. What is wrong?
Speaking of sick, like, dude, my whole house has been sick, and I never get like crazy symptoms. And it's like, I don't know if I'm actually sick ever. Like I just, it's always like, it's not like definitive, and like I have these weird symptoms this weekend. Like my legs were like really achy, and like I felt a little like what is that? And so I'm trying to figure it out, doing all this mobility. Yeah, a lot of Midol, a lot of chocolate. And I'm working through it, and actually, it's funny enough. Like, so I was like, I'm gonna take a bath. I don't do that. I'm gonna take a page out of Adam's book. Like, I didn't put any bubbles in there. But
do you listen to death metal in the bath? Because he would, dude.
It would keep me awake at least. But no, it's usually like. I have like a whole nother playlist for chill. Like I do like a lot of like Sublime and more.
Like, I don't always listen to.
I don't always listen to metal. I do listen to it a lot. So you guys are correct. But yes, I'm actually the only tub is in my son's room, and so he was gone hanging out with his friends. So it's always kind of weird too. I'm like using his bathroom, and I'm kind of in there like looking around. Like, I haven't been in there in a long time. What is he doing in here? He's always in here, and like you don't want to find stuff.
He's at that age, bro, where you don't even want to ask questions.
He's a full-on teenager. I don't want to like uncover things and like find things. But I was like looking, in his little whatever you call that medicine cabinet, and he's got like the good. He's got like the serum. He's got all this stuff from Caldera, the skincare. Like it's all like completely organized and like he's doing it like systematically. Like I didn't even know he literally just stole it from me. And I was looking for it the other day. And of course, you know, he finds the good stuff that I have and takes it all the time. But I thought that was kind of funny. I'm like, dude, you're a kid. Like, of course, like they're going through skin issues and stuff and like pimples and all these things.
Oh,
so I'm sure it helps.
That'll help. Yeah.
I was thinking that, and I'm like, well, it's smart that he's
the Caldera Lab serum helps with acne, so that's actually good
because it balances the skin, right?
That's right, balance out the microbiome. It's funny you were saying as you're talking, I laugh whenever like why does a 15-year-old need to make their skin look younger?
Like, that's what I was like.
You rub dirt on your skin, you look just fine.
I never used anything.
Oh my God, bro.
I'm not a good example.
I wash my face with dish soap sometimes.
Oh, bro,
it's fine.
dish soap.
That soap. This will do it.
Yeah,
you know.
But I'm like, I'm sitting in there just hoping nobody like comes in. You know, too. It's
why
like,
are you
really
in my
vulnerable.
Room, Dad?
It's vulnerable. Like, don't you feel that way in a tub? You're just like looking around like half the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm all in, dog. I'm all in. Candles, bubbles.
You know what's funny about what you said? Is this a mom and dad thing? Moms are all about snooping around their kids' stuff.
Yes.
Dads
Not
typically are like, I don't want to find anything.
I'm like, don't tell me about it.
I don't want to. Like, I'm not going to.
I mean, is this like a man-woman trait thing? I think it's more
I don't
like
know
that.
because moms are like sneaky. They want to go through your room, look through things. I'm like,
look at your text. Like,
well, I was gonna say, who's more? I mean, at least all of your guys' relationship, like, who's more likely to grab the other person's phone and snoop through their phone? Like, that's wife is more likely. Even though my wife doesn't do that, she's probably more likely than I would.
Thankfully, she doesn't do that with me.
I don't even want to. Like, I'm the type of husband who's like this. Like, she wants something that like in her purse. Like, I'm afraid to even go in her purse. It's like I've caught myself doing that. Like, this is my wife. Why can't I go through her purse? It's just like, but it feels so intrusive. You know, it's like I don't want to know if there's something
mad
here. I don't want
shuffled something.
Yeah, I don't want to see something I don't want to see. You know, I have no idea. It's just like, no, here, like bring it over like it's some sort of like nuclear bomb.
Yeah,
could you get this?
Could you dismantle this for me?
Yeah. So and same thing like with a phone. Like I don't.
Oh, dude, I'm like,
I don't want to look.
If somebody butt dials me. Okay, somebody butt dials me, and I hang up. I don't want to hear conversations I'm not supposed to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, like
I think
a lot of women are like, no, I want to hear.
Yeah,
because
like I catch Courtney all the time. Like if we ever leave the house, she's like on the Ring camera already.
I hate
like looking at things, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, my thought on that is because you always make up. It is in our genes to make up the worst case scenario.
Sure.
That's what you're default to. So it's like, to me, I don't even want to risk, even if it's something innocent, because the brain will automatically go to the worst case scenario. So it's like, why would I do that to myself? It's so torturous. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know.
I don't want. Katrina and I were actually talking about this
because
you guys, I'm sure you guys get this. Like we've had I've had the same phone number since I was a kid. I've never had a different phone number on my cell phone, and I get at least 3 to 4 a week, at least, of people texting me that are strangers, even like
spam
girls sending me pictures.
Oh, that's like phishing.
To hey, or hey, what are you doing tonight? And it's always a number I don't. And like, so I've a long time ago, like I won't. If it's if your name isn't in my phone, I won't answer it. If my name isn't in the text, I ain't responding to it. That's you better leave me a voicemail and then describe who you are or write me an email or something, because I won't answer it. But she gets those now. But I remember when that first started happening, and I'd have to tell her about it. I'm like, hey, random people are like, she's like, yeah, okay, sure. And I'm like, no, I swear to God. So now she gets it all the time, and she's like, that is crazy. I'm like, I've been telling you this for years. It happens.
That's a strategy. That's like a is it phishing? Is that what that's called? It's a strategy.
I think
so.
Well, they'll send you a message like, hey, it was good to see you last night.
Yeah.
Something like that. You're like, huh?
Didn't we know somebody who just got screwed over like that?
All the time.
Say what?
When I was single, like especially New Year's Eve, that was like my move. I would just like start like yelling out certain girls' names, and then whichever one would turn around, I'd start talking to them.
No, you didn't.
Yes. Yeah, bro. It was like,
why are you talking about this?
This is just funny. It was funny.
Like a drunk guy strategy. He's like 20. Yo, Susan.
He's all
totally turn around and it worked.
It totally worked. One time I yelled out Courtney, and here we are.
Here we are. And I got 2 kids. And end of story.
I would never do that.
Oh my
did
God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a drunk idea for sure.
Yeah, those drunk ideas are never good ones.
No.
You want to hear a bad idea? I saw this clip. Actually, it was like a podcast of guys that talk about movies and history and movies and stuff like that. And you guys have seen the Fast. I don't know. I haven't seen all of them, but you've probably seen at least a handful of the Fast and Furious, right?
Yeah, I think I made it through.
Did you remember that before Ludacris, because you know Ludacris is
Yeah.
part of that series, right? It was Ja Rule in the first one. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ja Rule was and he had a couple cheesy lines or whatever like that. And I can't remember what he got paid. We got paid decent money, but that was right in the thick of when Ja Rule was popping off and be like a thing. And he turned down that role for the second one. It wasn't enough money, and it was like still good money. And that's why, and Ludacris took it. And the irony of that is I think Ludacris has made like, $15 million on the whole
Something like 12 of them.
Because he passed
going.
on that role. And the big joke is no one's paying attention to Ja Rule or cares anything about what he's doing. And even when he toured, he's the one.
Firefest, right?
Remember? Yeah, yes. So it was around that time, actually, Justin. I think that was part of the decision was I got Firefest and I got this going on and stuff like that. I'm not going to do this film or whatever. So he shit on the film, and then Ludacris ends up doing it. And
Fire financial consultant.
Millions. Do you guys remember the prank that 50 Cent did on Ja Rule too on his one of his last concert tours? So Ja Rule
he bought all those tickets.
50 has always been messing with Ja for a long time. So they have beef, right? And so he had a concert tour, and 50 Cent bought, I want to say, the first
all the front rows.
Yeah, like first 4 or 5 rows of the entire arena, because their tickets were so cheap, and so
he just left it.
Yeah, just left it, so it was all empty. Bro,
That's
messed up.
that is such a gangster prank right there.
Yeah.
I would do that to a friend.
I would too. If I had that kind of money where I could just mess with someone like that, I would.
I feel like DMX would have been a better replacement. They're like the same guy. Yeah, they sound the same.
I know.
Yeah.
I agree. You brought up the other day. I have to share this with you because I shared it with Justin. I think Doug was in here too. I wasn't sure. Remember the other day you just talked about how guy nicknames are horrible, right?
The real insecurities.
Okay. So I haven't seen my buddy Greg in a long time, right? And obviously I wasn't even thinking about this.
You talking about Orphan Greg?
Yeah.
It's worse.
Hey, bro, it's worse. It's
Oh, it's even worse than that? Oh my God.
So
bro.
I hadn't seen him in a long
Orphan Greg.
I haven't seen him in a long time. He's an ultra marathon runner and stuff like that. Used to be a trainer for me. Good buddy of mine. Okay. And he shows up at my house. We hung out this weekend. We did our fancy football thing. Had like a little barbecue, pool party, and stuff like that. And he pulls his shirt off to get in the pool, and he has got this massive scar down his stomach and up his back. And he was like, "Oh yeah, it was my back surgery." He goes in, telling me all about it. It's like messed up, bro. And they re-stitched him up, and they his ab is all off to the side and everything like that. Oh, bro, mess.
Sucks.
Serious surgery like that. So the rest of the night I was calling him C-section.
C-section, great.
Bro, I told the rest of my boys all night long. Everybody's drinking.
It's gonna stick.
Oh, bro, it's so good. It's so
Great.
Hey, bro, C-section.
I bet he loved it.
Oh, yeah, it's cool.
yeah,
I mean,
nice.
obviously I wasn't thinking about it when it happened. It was in the moment, drinking, having a fun time with the boys. But it made me think, I was like, oh, this is so funny. Sal just brought up
we do that.
how vicious. Because
Oh,
Katrina
it's
came over and
terrible.
she's like, I can't believe you were saying that to him. Like, is he okay? Are you like?
Hey, listen. It's just
Hey, we're different.
listen.
man.
We're different.
Yeah.
like female. Maybe there's outliers, but if a woman said that to her friend, they would cry. And hate them
It would-
forever.
Yeah, it would go off like a
Can
nuclear
you believe
bomb.
she called me C-section?
Yeah.
And she would be done. Can you imagine a woman called her friend C-section for having C-section? They're C-section Susan. They would hate your enemies for life.
Yes.
You guys just became closer.
Oh yeah, just not even like a moment of thinking about it. It wasn't like I was like,
Perforated
I'm gonna
patty.
intentionally be mean. It was just the go-to thing to say right there at the moment.
Yeah, dude. If you're the short guy or the fat guy or the bald guy,
Stumpy Stacy.
every other, it's a good time.
We should get them to do it.
I don't know what's wrong with us.
So good.
If you listen to Brain FM and you select focus or sleep or meditate, the music has been designed and engineered by scientists to induce states of mind that match that. In other words, listen to focus 5 to 10 minutes in, your brain becomes more focused. This is engineered sounds and music. It really works. If you don't believe me, try it for yourself for free for 30 days. Go to brain.fm/mind pump. Back to the show. This segment of the podcast is brought to you by Mind Pump Fitness Coaching. This is the #1 course that teaches trainers and coaches how to build sustainable 6-figure plus businesses and careers in fitness. Look, it's roundtable based, so you can hear Adam, Justin, and myself teaching you how to build a better business, get more leads, close more deals, close bigger deals, and be more effective trainers. By the way, our course is nationally recognized. In fact, it gives you 1.9 CEUs with or for your NASM certification. Find out more at mindpumpfitnesscoaching.com.
Our first caller is Andy from Missouri.
Andy, what's happening?
How you doing, Andy?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you?
Good. How can we help you?
Hey, just going to get straight to the question. I am a 40-year-old police officer. I'm looking at competing in my first powerlifting competition that our department's putting on at a local gym. I've cycled through anabolic, performance, aesthetic, and symmetry 2 to 3 times over the past couple of years. My squat is 465. My bench is 335. My deadlift is 445. I weigh 233 pounds. I've been on TRT for about a year. I struggle with my deadlift, especially since my deadlift is usually supposed to be higher than a squat. How can I best get ready for this competition and increase my deadlift?
Yeah, good question, by the way. Thanks for what you do as a profession, by the way.
Yep.
I mean, is this competition going to be 3 lift total or just 1 lift?
It's 3 lifts.
Okay.
And it's, I guess they called it raw, which is so you can use straps, knee sleeves. It's kind of a brand new novice thing that we've never done. So,
yeah. Okay. So, MAPS Powerlift would be the program to follow, which we'll send to you. Some things to consider too with this. If you're like, I just want to get my deadlift to come up, then what you do with the rest of your list is you kind of take a break on them for a little bit to place more focus on the deadlift. And I'll give you some tips on things you can do. Although when you get powerlift, follow it as it's laid out because it's a very well put together program. But a couple things to consider. One is sometimes you get guys that are better at squatting than deadlifting, and they also tend to be really good at bench press. And so really good benchers tend to not deadlift, and that's more really a leverage thing, just the way that their bodies tend to be built. I'm on the other end of the spectrum. Yeah, I'm a good deadlifter, but I'm not a heavy bencher. Maybe I have long arms, I think. So that there's always leverage is something to consider. The other thing too is have you used progressive resistance like bands and chains with your deadlift?
Never done that.
Those make a big difference.
Huge benefit.
Big difference. Yeah. So let's say you're going to go and your workout consists of doing singles with let's say 405. You would put, let's say, 370 on the bar, but you'd add maybe 20 pounds of chains or even 30 pounds of chains. So the top of the lift, you're real heavy, but at the bottom of the lift, it's much lighter. Chains and bands could be assisting as well. That progressive resistance tends to break through those types of plateaus. Nonetheless, MAPS Powerlift, follow that because you're doing a 3 lift total, so you should get better in all 3 lifts with that program.
Yeah. So caveat to that is I'm gonna have to have surgery on my finger due to a work comp thing. So I'm gonna cycle through this for the next competition next year. So as I'm doing that, I'm started powerlifting, but obviously I'm gonna have to put that on hold for now. What other program should I cycle through to get ready for that?
Oh, so powerlift is great. I love symmetry and performance as ways to mitigate any potential injury, which you already have, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like you're doing all the right stuff right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Okay. Is there an order that I should be doing it in any particular way? And then obviously do powerlifting probably about the 3 months before the competition starts.
Yeah. No, I would go. Which one did you just finish?
I just finished symmetry.
You can go into
I
powerlifting.
started on powerlifting, but then I haven't quite got it there. So
Yeah. Do you have any nagging injuries or pain anywhere?
haven't just kind of old man knee stuff here and there. So
Yeah. You could do another round of symmetry and then get back into and then get into powerlift and then make sure that you lead up to the competition, giving yourself enough time with powerlift.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. But otherwise,
That
you're doing
works
great.
for me.
Otherwise, you're doing great, dude.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you got it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah, it was easy. Yeah,
Straightforward.
progressive. The chains and bands were a game changer for me.
Oh yeah.
My deadlift was stuck in the mid 5s, low 5s actually for a while. Started using chains and bands in particular. Chains are good too, but those
Such
are
a
pretty
good
brutal.
bridge, between.
Oh man, it got my deadlift to progress like
Especially
crazy.
if it's the first time you're using them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's never messed with them
And
yet.
with bands, I would do interesting things. I would do it where they would assist the lift. I'd do it where they're at the bottom, which is kind of similar.
Yeah.
Then I would do it to where the bands were attached kind of away from the deadlift to help with my pullback and my lockout. And you could do this with bands where you make the resistance different angles to work on different parts of the
Plenty
lift.
forward or
Oh yeah,
that helps a lot.
Made a huge difference. But then the leverage thing, that's a big one. Like,
Oh yeah, a lot of people assume that the deadlift should just be higher. It's not true at all. I mean, you're that way, right, Justin? Your squat is bigger than your deadlift,
Yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah, no,
there's-
it's embarrassing, but it's true.
not embarrassing.
It's
It's
not.
the way to
I
do
mean,
it.
I wish I had your squat. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's typically one or the other.
Great deadlifters almost are never great bench pressers. The long arms are great for deadlifts, terrible for bench
That's
press.
what I like about powerlift, though. It's kind of like an equalizer in that regard.
Yeah, right. Because it balances it out, right? No, I agree.
Our next caller is Juliana from Korea.
Juliana,
How are you?
what's happening?
Hello.
Hey,
How can we help you?
what happened? I'm just waking up.
Yeah, so is Justin too.
Yeah, I got crusty still. I'm working through it.
How can we help you?
Well, thanks so much. So I sent an email a couple days ago, and a little bit story about my background. I've been training for the past 14 years since I joined the Marine Corps. I competed once. After my competition, I went down on a road of eating disorder, depression, and I was bulimic for almost 2 years. And then I got back in a really good relationship with food. Little by little, I incremented my macros, and I was in a really happy relationship with my macros until I got an injury back in February. So I stopped training for almost 6 months. I had a femur fracture. Now I'm clear to go back to training, but I really don't know where to start now. I'm like, I don't want to get fractured again. I don't know how to do it again. But I'm really good on following guidance, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, good. I'm glad you asked this.
Map starter
Typically,
first.
Juliana, a stress fracture is due from years of overtraining. Is that what happened to you?
I believe so. I was overtraining. I think I was on my peak of my training, and I started running with my coworkers, and I started loving it and enjoying it. And I went from 3 miles to 5 miles to 7 to 10. And I was doing a strength training. In my diet, I balanced it more on fats than carbs.
Yeah.
So yes, I definitely overtrained myself. I know that, and I fractured the stronger bone in the body. How?
Yeah.
I don't know, but definitely.
Yeah. So you mind if I go through your background a little again, just to kind of recap so we can give you the best advice?
Yeah. So training has been a part of my life, my whole entire life. I started doing sports when I was 5 years old. My mom had us in doing any type of sports when we were child. Then I moved to the States. I enjoy ROTC in high school, so I did a lot of running, a lot of military training, to call it that way. Then I joined the Marine Corps, and for 14 years I've been doing mostly running, no more than 3 miles. I never had a good relationship with running. Now I do, but I also did weights. Never had a guidelines before the competition. I did a bodybuilding competition once. I love that. But after that, I got very upset with maintaining the body fat percentage. That's impossible.
Yeah.
So then I went to my quote unquote depression on my eating disorder, but I was continue always working. And every time I felt that I was eating bad, I used to an extra hour in the treadmill, an extra hour of cardio. But
Yeah.
after that, I overcome that. My mindset changed. I started doing more of reverse dieting and getting my body back to be healthier. So yes, never nothing specific.
Okay.
I started listening to you guys because I started looking into strength training more than hypertrophy. And I was doing a strength training for almost 2 years. So low reps, and I was doing 5 reps every squat rack, and I got to I was doing 245 if I
Wow.
don't, 245 to 65.
Wow. Typically, when somebody trains themselves to the point of a stress fracture, especially on the femur, and then they say they love what they're doing, it's more about what they're not doing. In other words, it's taking you away from something that you hate. Do you know what that is? When you're exercising, what is it taking you away from, or what is it distracting you from, if you don't mind me asking?
Don't know, honestly. I was enjoying doing my exercises, like hitting the gym, but I was focusing more of not becoming super big, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to just gain a lot of weight. I just wanted it to maintain with a low body percentage, but not really was
Yeah.
running away from something. And my military standards.
Yeah. Because of your background and how long you've been doing this is going to be a difficult, because I can give you the right answer. I know what the right answer is, but it's going to be hard to stay on the right path because you're going to veer back to what you were doing before. And your
Okay.
tolerance for intensity or what you would judge to be the right amount of volume and intensity is skewed. Part of it is because of your background. Part of it is because you were in the Marines. It did result in an injury that kind of stopped you in your tracks, but that's always a terrible way to stop because you're forced. And when you're forced to stop doing something like that, it's really difficult, really hard. As you start to feel better, it'll be very hard not to veer back to what you were doing before. So what I would recommend is MAP Starter. I'd recommend just walking, and I'd recommend eating a reverse diet. The challenge is going to be being able to do that and not start to slide back little by little, incrementally, maybe sometimes quickly, to really pushing your limits.
Yes.
You would be the perfect.
You're right.
You would be the perfect person to work with a coach through this process. Yeah. Because I can give you the advice right now, but I have zero confidence in my advice on one call like this. Yeah. I would have to work with you for a little while because
psychological training needs to happen with this.
Yeah, because right now you're in the mindset that's right. This mindset is not going to stick around. I promise you. You're going to get to a point where it's going to shift and you'll be like, man, I feel good. I'm going to do a little more. And everything feels great and I love it. And then I'm going to do a little more and everything's good and I'm improving. Therefore, I think I could do more. And it's going to continue down. You're going to keep going down that path and potentially cause another injury or problem.
No, and you're right, because I got clear from the injury, that it was getting better. It got better to a 80%. And I started back training. I said, I need to take it slow. I promise I was taking it slow, but not slow to my body. And the pain started to come back. I was like, okay, I got to stop again. So yes, on that one, yes, you are definitely right. I do need to, like, just because I'm doing more doesn't mean, just because I'm doing less, it doesn't mean it's not working.
Yeah. It's hard. It's really hard. This is going to be a very hard path out. But the end of this, if we do this right, is going to be so amazing. It's going to be so amazing. You're going to have a real relationship, a healthy one with all of this. But you got to get out and you got to get through the tough parts. And coaching, I think, would be, it'd be necessary, at least for the first 6 months or so.
Okay, it will be good to mention that I have a training in January that I have to get ready for.
What's the training?
Well, hopefully. So I'm waiting on results on if I go to, it's like a basic training. It's an officer training.
Okay.
So I will be going to the officer basic training in January for 16 weeks. And it's in Quantico, it's in Virginia, so the weather will be cold. Good thing in Korea, I will have that cold and I will have the opportunity to train for it, at least to have acclimatized myself. But yes, the training is more to endurance.
Yeah.
Most like it.
I think
and the last thing I want is get there and get injured again and not be able to complete the training.
The training will be easy for you to pass. Yeah. That's not going to be a problem. Yeah. It's not going to be a problem. But what it's going to do is it's going to give you a target that you're going to overtrain for. But the training's going to be easy. For someone like you, that's going to be a piece of cake. So long as you're healthy, it's not going to be hard to pass that. I think you know that. I think you could probably pass that with your eyes closed because you've probably done it so many times. So I don't want you to use that as like I got to push super hard. We still need, if we do this the right way, that'll be a piece of cake for you. Okay. Right. But I'll send you MAP Starter, but I'm also going to have one of my coaches call you because I think that will be the only way to get at, to do this the right way. Because they're going to have to be with you when you get to those stumbling blocks, which are going to happen. They're going to happen. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Yeah, they have. Yes, I do tend to push myself more than that I need. However, February was like my peak of my. I was like on my peak, and I in the competition. The competitions that were the most rewarding moments of my journey of training journey, and
When was the
the
competition?
reverse diet. The competition was 2019,
When did you get the fracture?
and the fracture I got it last year, just this past year. I mean, this year at the beginning of the year, February 26th to be exact. That's when I found out.
Do you see the
had a
connection
stress fracture.
between do you see the connection between the competition and the stress fracture?
Yes,
Okay.
that I put my mind on both like really hard,
Yeah. Well, here's
and
what
that was like
here's what happens when you have a competition and then that's like the peak of your like that's the best thing. When the competition's over, where do you go?
oh yeah,
You
to
chase
eat
it.
everything you love and eat it.
Yeah. And you just chase it. You chase it
Or you
until
go the other extreme.
or you go on the other extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to send you starter, but I promise if you don't have a coach, you're not going to want to do it because it's going to be boring. So
Okay,
I'm going to have a coach.
awesome,
I'm going to have a coach call you, and we're going
perfect. No, that works.
and we're going to individualize something for you. And then when it gets really hard, you
That
just
will
got to
work.
just talk to your coach.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. No, I appreciate it, and sometimes you don't want to hear the stuff, but you need to.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know what you're feeling right now. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's nerve wracking, but having someone there to coach you through this is your best bet for sure.
You're gonna make it through it. You're gonna be all right.
Gotta take care of that
Guys,
body.
thank you.
Yep.
Well, quick question. Just about I'll be looking into vitamins or multivitamins. Any recommendations? I'm taking calcium right now for sure. That's the first thing I started taking, vitamin D and calcium and
Good.
everything that it will help my bone, which it did. Back to eat a lot of, not a lot, but a balanced dairy, because at time of my journey of my life, I could quit, quote unquote, quit dairy, not thoroughly, but I did. But now I'm back to eating more yogurt, more milk, and having that natural vitamin D in my body.
Yeah.
But that's all the vitamins I'm taking.
Yeah, so
right
I would add a multivitamin to that. D, calcium, magnesium, and a multivitamin. But too low calories and overtraining will cause the same problems too. And that's probably
Well, good thing I'm not.
yes, not right now. But that's what'll happen. That'll cause that. I've seen women who strength train a lot get osteoporosis because they were under eating and overtraining. Even though they were strength training, they would get osteoporosis because of those two factors. So you can't fight those two factors with nutrients. You need the calories, you need the rest, and you need appropriate strength training. Otherwise, you'll start tearing things down.
Awesome. Okay. No, thank you.
All right, I'm gonna have someone.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have someone call you, Juliana.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Great show. I get to hear almost every day. I was on vacation, so I haven't listened to it in a couple of days. And you always, I have noticed you guys always have advices for males there when they are studying, they having that support as the spouse. And I'm like, what about us the females? When we need to find the spouse that support us?
We got you.
No, but it's a great show. It's a great show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I
I
have
appreciate it.
learned a lot from you guys.
Thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate the support, Juliana. I hope to see you in our
Thank
team.
you. When I go back to the States.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. We need to have someone call her because, I mean, there is zero we could do on this call.
No.
That's going to really help her substantially.
Yeah. No.
I don't think we told her anything she doesn't know.
Yeah.
But it's going to be, I mean, you could feel her nerves.
Yeah,
and
even her trying to
discomfort.
recover and go through that little bit of training was already bored with it. So.
A stress fracture of the femur. And once she said Marines and all this stuff, like she
goes hard.
She has a tolerance for
hard,
a beatdown.
and she doesn't eat.
And there's
combo is bad.
And there is such a disconnection because she's saying, "I love it."
Yep.
So you always ask yourself, how can someone say they love something that is causing so much grief? And that is a position that you need someone to coach you out of because
through that.
you are seeing things in a complete in the wrong way. And to get out of that on your own is very difficult, even an injury.
I hope she does it because
I
I know that we can help her. I hope she does it.
Our next caller is Justin from Oklahoma.
What's up, man?
What's going on, Justin?
What's happening, dude?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. First of all, just wanted to thank you guys for everything that you do. You've really changed and enhanced my thinking when it comes to health and fitness in a big way. So I appreciate that. And then Sal, you specifically with your faith journey, it's been really inspiring. I grew up in church. I've been very active in church all my life. And so your bravery and your courage in just being outspoken about something that you might not be comfortable with is really encouraging. So appreciate you guys.
Thanks, man.
I'm gonna read through my question just so I stay on track and get through this pretty quick. So I'm looking for some practical advice on how I can begin to train for some endurance events. I'd like to start with a half marathon potentially at the end of this year. And I'm currently on a weight loss journey working to improve overall health. I'm down almost 30 pounds from the beginning of this year so far. And ultimate goal would be to lose another 40 pounds or so over the next 12 months. I'm aware that running and cardio in general is not the most efficient way to lose fat. So that's not necessarily my main reasoning for doing it. There's always been something intriguing to me about building for endurance events. I'm pretty overweight still, 245 at 5'11". So I want to do this right. I've gained some strength over the last year and don't want to sacrifice my strength or muscle mass while trying to improve cardiovascular health as well. I want to avoid injury, burnout, and would love to get even stronger during the process if at all possible. So how can I go about doing this the right way to avoid injury, to improve these areas at the same time? Is that even possible? Or should I just delay endurance training altogether for now and keep focusing on strength and weight loss?
Yeah. So I would totally avoid the marathon right now, and here's why.
Okay.
Here's why
It's not working in your favor.
No, and the injury risk is going to be really high, dude. You're a big dude. You're still trying to lose weight. I mean, how often do you run, or when's the last time you did a lot of running?
I've been on my feet quite a bit for the last couple months, and I've run probably 2 or 3 days a week, usually around a mile and a half, 2 miles, somewhere in there, probably 3 days a week.
When was the last time before that you ran consistently?
It's probably never been super consistent. I would go 2 weeks on and then fall off. I've done a couple like 10Ks and 5Ks, but other than that, I have not done anything big in endurance.
So here's the thing with running like a marathon or half marathon. Just like with strength training, technique is paramount. And if you start training now with the little experience you have with running, and you just go to train for fatigue, your injury risk is through the roof. So that's my main reason why. It's not for the strength loss, because that'll happen. It's not because you're going to postpone the fat loss, because that'll also happen. It's because the injury risk is so high. You're a big dude. Your technique, I can guarantee, isn't great. And if you go to push endurance, it's going to be even worse, and your risk of injuries is going to be real high.
If you were my client, this is what we would set as a goal to reward yourself for getting to our weight loss goal. Yeah. So if you were my client and you told me that's like something you want to do, like, cool. All right, let's set ourselves a goal. Let's shed some of this weight, and then we're going to train. Then we're going to train for a marathon as your reward, and that's how I would position it as the better strategy. As far as like trying to do that, I think I know Sal's pressing the injury thing. I just think it's a terrible idea metabolically. It's just, losing a 50 pounds is a journey and a half. Like, that's a big journey, and you want all the muscle you can keep to help you with that. It's only going to be that much more difficult,
by all means necessary,
to do something with endurance training right now.
Here's what it would look like if we were to do this perfect. Okay, we would focus on the weight loss with strength training and diet. 50 pounds is your goal, so you'd be down to 205. Once you got down to 205, I would hire a running coach, and I would work with a running coach once a week on biomechanics and technique. And I would do that for a while before attempting to push, or
actually jumping into a program.
That's right. Okay. I would work with a running coach, because that will make it so much of a better experience. Now, you could probably grind your way through this, but you're very likely to set things back, and the risk of injuries, again, it's high, dude. Every time you hit the ground, you're 255. That's like that's way more than 255 that's hitting the ground because of the impact.
You're Clydesdale.
And then because of the technique and,
A short, stubby Clydesdale.
yeah.
Hey, I am too, bro. So
So I would I would wait till I got down to 205, hire a running coach, and take your time, dude.
I would
Get
also
the biomechanics, and it would make you you would turn yourself into a really good running machine if you did it right.
I also think it will be important for us to evaluate where you're at calorically when you get down to that 205 and how to make sure we increase calories as you start to build up endurance training, because you're probably going to get down to pretty low calories by the time you get really close to your goal, right? If we slowly reduce calories over time, or even if you kind of manage where you're at, you're eventually going to get to a lower cal. And then to go right into doing endurance training, we're going to want to make sure that we supplement those calories to support the training you're doing. And that psychologically can be difficult from somebody who just lost 50 to 100 pounds. Like, that's tough to tell that person, like, all right, now I want you to start eating 500 more calories, but you're going to want to do that when you get back into your running too. You're not going to want to add the running on top of where you're at calorically, because that'll just, we'll lose muscle like super fast.
Well, that's the other thing I was worried about was I'm going to have to bump up my calories just to sustain
That's right.
where I'm at if I'm going to put that much activity in. Because right now I'm probably anywhere between 24 and 2,600 calories consistently.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be enough if I'm running 4 days a week
Definitely
on top
not.
of
No.
trying to do some strength training too. So
100%.
that was another one of my worries.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
slowly increase your calories right now. Focus on building strength and walk. And what you're going to see is you'll see your body slowly lose body fat. Once you get down to close to your goal, hire that coach. People do not view running as a skill. It's like this. Look, it's like if you told somebody, hey, you're going to go deadlift for 20 minutes straight, go for it. Without the person having perfect deadlift form, we'd all know what's going to happen. But for some reason, we look at running like it's not a skill. Like you just got to just go, just gruel yourself through it. No, it's a skill like anything else. And we can get good at it with practice. People can get really good at running if they treated it like a skill. So do it that way, and you'll find it way more enjoyable, dude. Way more.
Okay. Cool. Well, awesome.
All right.
That's all I had.
All right, man.
I'd love to talk to you. Justin, reach back out as you get closer to your goal and getting ready to start that, because I think we could also help you, talking about where the calories are at and all those things as you start to
basically all I've done right now is just a ton of walking, a little bit of running, and just MAPS Anabolic, really. I've loved MAPS Anabolic. So
that's great.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I like where your calories at too, because you're not so low that you're going to get really bad. Like, that's a good amount of calories to probably keep sustained weight loss, but then also feed you enough to keep on that muscle.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks, y'all.
You got
Appreciate
it, man.
you.
Thanks for calling in.
Yep.
Yeah, I've trained at least 10 people for half marathons or marathons, and I always had them. Well, not all of them. In the beginning, I didn't do this, but towards the end, I would get them make them get a running coach, because I'd go to these events, and these are like, marathons raising money for breast cancer research. These are marathons that people join for some kind of cause, right? It's not like you have like these highly competitive runners. And I've even done a half marathon. Yeah. And just from a biomechanics standpoint, you stand at the finish line and you watch 99% of the people crossing that finish line. Terrible.
Oh yeah.
Biomechanics. They're just drudging through it. And what we do is we make shoes and devices to try to correct. It's like we're putting crutches on everything to try to fix the problems that should be fixed with just proper technique. Then you see the occasional runner who has good technique, and it looks
especially
amazing.
You're over 200 pounds, honestly. Like,
oh yeah.
What are we doing?
Because
I know how that feels. And two, if you're not trying to actively lose body weight, that's just so much to keep you flat-footed, and you're not going to have good technique. You're not going to absorb that impact, and so that would be the pressing issue for me, is to really kind of like, if that's your serious goal, like we got to lose the weight and then get strong for this first.
That's right.
Our next caller is Joshua from Australia.
What's up, Joshua?
What's happening, dude?
Hi, guys. It's I'll give you the normal greeting of you've changed my life. You've changed so many lives. You are fantastic at what you guys do, and not just change lives, you've saved lives as well.
Thank you.
But thank you for having me on. You guys are just an awesome trio, to be honest.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you again for putting me on.
You got it. How can we help you?
Yeah, how can we help you, dude?
I'll just go. I'll go to my question. It might be a little bit changed. Not really, but do you have my pictures there or not?
Yeah, it looks like I do.
Yeah, we
actually.
do.
Pull 'em up.
Let me pull those up.
Oh, okay. So I've been training on and off for 12 plus years. And when I say, on and off, life gets in the way or whatever. I hurt my rotator cuff quite badly. So I couldn't train as well. I'm sorry, I'm trying to, again, it's very early in the morning here. So what I did is I went into a slight maintenance, slight bulk for around a month and a half after rehabbing my shoulder. I think my main question is, if you can see those photos, like my back muscles and my arms, I don't need to train them at all. Like two sets a week, that's it. But my chest will not grow at all. Now, I've asked forums, I've asked everything. It's like, at the moment, like I'm at 2100 calories. And it seems to be all going to other body parts. I know you can't pick a body part. I know that. But for some reason, my chest will not grow.
You can actually pick
Now-
a body part to build.
you
We
can.
can't spot reduce, but you can pick a body part and say, hey, I'm going to go
We can develop it.
build that body part and train specifically to do that. So in your case, when you get a client that says, hey, I really want to develop my chest, we can organize the program focused on that and eat in a calorie surplus and absolutely spot build. You can't spot reduce, but you can spot build.
What, are you following any of our programs, Josh?
Yeah, I've done anabolic and anabolic advanced. Both have been awesome. Like I said, my arms and back just grow like crazy, and then my chest just won't.
Okay.
All right.
And
So
that's kind of like where the question is. It's like I do for my chest. I do Smith incline mainly and dips, and then I'll do dumbbell full ROM, just to get that full stretch. But for some reason, it's mainly my upper chest that just, for some reason, it's just not growing.
well, here's what you'll do. Okay, you can reduce volume from the rest of your body, especially arms and back. Throw it to chest and put yourself in a calorie surplus. And so what this would probably look like is about 20 or so total sets for chest throughout the week, and then the rest of the body maybe 4 to 6 sets total for each body part. So the vast.
Oh, really? So
yeah,
Yes.
like drop it that far.
yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
every other body part maybe 4 sets, 6 sets total for the week. 20,
Yep.
roughly 20 sets for chest, split up over 3 workouts, but also getting a calorie surplus.
Yeah, bump your calories
Okay.
another at least 300 to 500 calories.
Yep.
So start.
You really think so? You really think so?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
With that,
Okay. Because like I do have a little bit of the body dysmorphia that we all kind of go through. I'm not going to put on that much fat, am I?
No.
From
No, it'll mostly
400.
it'll go to muscle.
Yeah.
It'll mostly go to muscle. So about, like I said, about
Okay.
around 20 sets for your chest for the whole week, and maybe 4 to 6 for each other body part for the whole week. And at the beginning of your workout, start with chest, and then give yourself time.
Do you
Okay.
feel
This is the one thing as well. I'm a little bit impatient with the, I guess like waiting between sets.
That's a problem.
That's definitely a problem.
Should I wait more?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, give yourself 2 minutes at least.
At least 2 to 3 minutes.
yeah.
Okay.
2 to 3 minutes.
All right.
Josh, I see you're also in our private forum. So I wouldn't, if you shot me a video of you doing your bench press too, maybe there's something mechanically we can help you with too.
Right.
Like, the next time you're in the gym and you do your chest workout, maybe give us a couple videos and tag us. And so if there's any tips that we can give as far as your mechanics too, because if those are off a little bit, that could be playing a role also.
Here's the other thing.
And your connection, you might not be as strong as you want. And so to be able to prime it properly going into your workouts, it's going to have a little bit more opportunity to recruit and maximize that recruitment process.
Yeah.
So
I think because of my shoulder,
yeah,
when I was going forward, like I'm definitely flaring out more deliberately when I'm like chest pressing, just to get that full range of motion and not like, because if I go from that range to that range, the shoulder still hurts a little bit.
Yeah.
Dumbbells will probably feel a lot better.
Yeah. And did you get it repaired?
I rehabbed it, yeah.
Okay.
Like with a physio.
Okay. Yeah, just be careful with your technique. Don't if too much weight hurts, go lighter and slow the tempo down.
Yeah.
And then the other part of this is sleep. Josh, how much sleep are you getting every night consistently?
I just got back from San Fran actually. I was there for 12 days. So that's messed up my sleep routine.
Yeah.
And I know how important you guys talk about sleep is to heal everything. It's the most important thing. I'm just taking EAAs, creatine, just trying to get everything back into motion again.
Yeah. So consistent sleep, calorie surplus, more volume for the chest, less volume for everything else, and rest in between sets.
Yes, longer rest periods.
And then wait. Give yourself some time. Building muscle is a slow process.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's what I thought you would say. To be honest. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me take this one out. But yeah, that's what I thought you would say. Do you have, I guess, any tips on, I guess, like getting back into a proper sleep routine?
You got to be consistent. Okay. So turn everything off an hour before bed. You don't want to use any substances that can influence sleep. So alcohol, nicotine, cannabis. So you want to stay away from those. Caffeine early in the morning, but after that, off of it. And go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Yeah.
Is it okay to take melatonin to get my rhythm back?
Correct. Yes. So especially because you just got back from, from a totally different time zone, you would take a large dose of melatonin before bed for the next couple nights, and that should speed things up.
Okay, great. I also know creatine helps with that. When you're waking up.
That
take a larger amount.
Yeah,
I've been taking a larger amount, and it has been helping with my, I guess, like my own tiredness, whatever you want to call it.
Yes, but it doesn't fix it. But it'll help with the cognitive performance. So it's about 20 grams that you would take split up throughout the day. But it doesn't fix it, so it's not a replacement. But it is a nice Band-Aid.
I do have one more question for you. I know you guys have got a lot of people. The warrior stack with the peptides. Can I get on that?
I mean, you can do whatever you want. It'll help with injury recovery, but what we just told you is 99% of it. So so the peptides it's not gonna replace anything I said.
Wolverine stack, or you say warrior stack?
Yeah, I think you're talking about BPC and thymosin beta or TB500. Is that
yeah.
That's good for inflammation and healing if you still have an injury.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks so much, guys. I just needed kind of that clarity. You know what I mean? Like, just like, okay, hear it from you guys, and
Well, you're in the forum, so keep us posted as you go through this journey. Just let us know as you're going through, and then tag us.
And be consistent with what I said.
Definitely consistency.
Consistency is king. if you do it consistently,
Yeah.
you will see over the course of a year, 2 years, some changes for sure.
Get your sleep,
Okay.
stay in surplus.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Go get some rest, Josh.
Go to bed.
All right, dude.
I'm gonna. It's 3 o'clock. I'm gonna go sleep my ass off. To be honest.
All right, man. Thank you.
Take it easy,
All
bro.
right, pal.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Yeah, it's a lot of people with the volume, you take away volume from other body parts. You have to do that. You got to do the trade.
Yep.
You just add, you're going to overdo it. And then it's slow, man.
Yeah.
I've developed body parts, but it would take me like 2 years of consistent
It
application.
works, but you just have to keep it going.
That's it.
I mean, like Justin said, poor connection, also potentially not enough calories, also maybe not resting like you should in between sets.
That's
all
right.
that stuff will play a factor
That's right.
that's making this more difficult. So if he takes all the advice, like he should see a difference, and he should see a difference
Just
relatively
focusing on
quick.
it, like,
I mean,
90 days.
Yeah, he'll start to see a difference. I mean, he's not going to build a massive chest in 90 days, but he should start to see a
Get
difference.
stronger at least.
Yeah.
All right, I know you liked that episode. If you did, check this one out. Shredded, ripped, defined, single-digit body fat.
Yes.
You want to get there? Let's talk about it.
Difficult. And is it worth it? That's a follow-up question.
Yeah,
to that.
first off, we got to say that, okay, so single-digit body fat, obviously, body fat percentages that can be represented by one digit, like 3%, 5%, 6%, 9%. That's ripped for men. For women,
Add 10%.
exactly. You go up about